Hi, everybody. My name is Ashlyn Hatley. I have a Bachelor of Science in Public Health with Health and Education and Promotion. My Master of Science is Instructional Technology. I am a high school science teacher, specifically biological sciences, and I'm also a tennis coach. My short-term career goals is to be able to use what I'm currently learning to better serve the next population I teach. Right now, since I was just relocated for my husband's career to Pratt, Kansas, I'm waiting to find another teaching position where I'm able to use these awesome resources that I'm learning through these courses. My long-term career goal is I would love to be an instructional coach for an educational institute and provide support for faculty, staff, and students with technology-based methods. So today we're discussing the 3 levels of government control of public education. The financial assistance that local governments provide is about half of the assistance schools need. That funding comes from property taxes on residences and business within that district. The education improvement that is provided by the local government is that 96% of district school board members are elected by the citizens, and then those school board members elect the district superintendent, which plays the role of a CEO in the district. School boards make those big decisions that concern curricula, calendars, hiring, and if a school board needs to be, or a school district needs to be consolidated. The financial assistance provided by the state is about half of what this district actually needs, and that comes from state income and sales taxes that provide the majority of the funding. However, states may be able to use state lotteries, but are not supplemental, therefore other tax money is redirected. The improvement that state governments provide for the education system is that Common Core standards are set by the state and required for every district to implement. These standards are typically English and math. However, subjects such as science and social studies may also be a part of those standards. These standards help a state's opportunity when applying for grants through the Race to Top federal government program. The federal support that the governments provide is a financial of only 8%, which is kind of a fill in the gaps. So that's, like I said, just a little bit of 8%. And this comes from bills and acts such as the GI Bill or the National Defense Education Act, which is assistance for public schooling at the primary, secondary, and post-secondary levels. The equal access assistance that the federal government provides are equal rights laws that ensure the opportunity despite demographics or economic status for all students. Title I programs also help districts and students who are in poor urban or rural areas. There are also higher education acts that assist post-secondary students, as well as all students with disabilities are ensured a free public education from the All Handicapped Children Act in 1975. For education improvement, the federal government supports public schools by improving America's Schools Act, which required all Title I and other schools abide by the state standards. And in 2001, in order to implement an accountability system, the No Child Left Behind was created, so the NCLB. This created more testing and teacher evaluations to ensure quality education. Some educational institutes, as well as some people working for districts, may find it overbearing. So there are educational groups that created the Every Student Succeeds Act, which was implemented for states to reestablish control. Students are not the only ones who are supported at the federal government level. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission enforces laws and regulations that really help inhibit workplace discrimination. So those discriminations are going to be like age, pregnancy, race and color, what religion you are, and the list is pretty long there to provide the support for teachers and administrators or anybody that works within that district. Who is in charge for the federal and state levels? The President of the United States appoints the nominee for Education Secretary. The Secretary of Education then implements policies that affect federal funding for public schools. And the U.S. Department of Education are those people who enforce the law and maintain data, as well as they're the ones who are going to offer that funding. Here in Kansas, we have a Commissioner of Education. He is the Chief Administrative Officer over the KSTE. The Kansas state also has a Board of Education, which represent the senatorial districts and together appoint the commission. These people are said to have the most power in the state in Kansas education. At the state and local level, so here in Pratt, we're in District 5. So our member of the Board of Education represents the districts in Western and Central Kansas. Here in Pratt, we have a superintendent who oversees daily operations as well as supervise principals and district staff. USD 382 Board of Education is the group of wonderful individuals who implement district policies, create policies, and also are elected and serve as volunteers. The number 6 components that are associated with this module, the first one is 6.1, evaluate, develop, implement, communicate school-level government that support each student's learning and promotion. Since it says each student, I went with the local government. So again, this is the Board of Education. These are the teachers who are directly working with the students in the district. For component 6.2, evaluate, develop data-informed resourcing plans and school improvement and student development is going to be the state government. That school improvement, they really focus on their districts with that state Board of Education group. The 6.3 component is reflectively evaluate, to communicate, implement laws and regulations to promote student and adult success and well-being. The government that has the most influence over this component is the federal government. The support provided by government at all 3 levels helps maintain every student's constitutional rights. Legislation in place allows students to have free education despite any sort of demographic they're a part of or if they do have a disability. The well-being of students can be achieved and supported by the government with options for meals and health care through assistance programs within districts. Adults are also protected by legislation from discrimination in the workplace, and most adults are given the option for healthcare program enrollment. I hope you enjoyed this module. I know I learned a ton about the government's roles in education. I am excited to hear about everybody's view and different components, what they associated with. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.